So next, the session will be taken by Saurabh. So Saurabh, you can take your time now.
Okay. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Saurabh Kumar. I am a full stack engineer. Today I have to talk to about how to build mobile applications using different modern technologies. Like
Hi, Saurabh. Yeah,
yes, sir. Hello, sir.
yeah, hi. Thank you, Ravinder. Thank you very much for explaining the web development in PHP Laravel. So next we introduce the next speaker, Saurabh. He is going to explain us the mobile application development and how mobile application is developed, which technology is involved. Okay, so we welcome Saurabh to start this session. So Saurabh, you can start the session.
Okay, thank you, sir. So today I have to talk about build how to build mobile applications using modern technologies like React and Next.js for front end and backend using Laravel framework of PHP technologies for backend development and to build REST API development. And for mobile applications, have used Capacitor CLI. This is a cross-platform mobile app development. And for API documentation, Swagger technology used for easy API documentation and testing. So in these sessions will demonstrate how to connect these technologies to create a seamless and powerful full stack solutions. Just I have shared my screens to uh, show some designs. Okay. So my screen is visible.
Yes, visible.
Okay, thank you. So in this we will cover different topics backend API development with Laravel PHP and front-end applications built using React and Next.js and mobile applications using Capacitor for both Android and iOS application and API documentation using Swagger notation. I have to integrate front end and back ends using REST APIs. And by the end of the session, we will have a clear understanding of how to set up a full stack mobile applications and web applications that works seamlessly across multiple platforms. So some describes about the technologies, basic description of Laravel. What is the use of Laravel PHP? So Laravel PHP is the powerful backend framework for building REST APIs. And React is a JavaScript library for building dynamic user interfaces and single page applications and attractive website and mobile applications for front end. And Next.js is also a React framework for server side rendering and it is used for building a single page applications and a static site generation. And Capacitor. Capacitor is a cross-platform mobile app framework to build iOS and Android applications with web technologies and uh, is mobile CLI. Okay, and different and also different CLI used for develop built mobile applications like React Native CLI, Capacitor CLI, and different CLI also. Swagger is a open source tool for API documentation and including annotation for automatic documentation generation. Okay. Okay. So some next to how to develop API and implement your API in your projects. So some basics Laravel API setups and setups. So first we have to create a API. So have to create a Laravel project using uh, Laravel create commands. So I have to create a project in Laravel. So you have to like this type of framework structure. In this framework, you have two different folder. This framework works on the MVC architecture. MVC stands for model, view, and controllers. Model was for it's a mediator to connect the front end and back ends to handles all the data, and the controller is used for handle all the logics and all the logics and which one is to going to assess your data, you are going to proceed your pages. And last one is views. V is just a blade file या फिर या page या it's also called HTML file where to designs your software, your mobile applications. Here is my controller files where controller files in controller files we have to create a function where to handles all the logics. So in this controller I have to see the login controller file where to handle the how to login the user and send the response in API. Okay. In this function also I have to see how to create a REST API and send the response. Okay. So I have to define a function login, and in this login function you have to require two params, name and mobile number. Through this mobile number name and mobile number I have to check that user is authorized or not. If not authorized user, then have to just send the response you are not authorized. Yeah, just another response, please register first. He also another response as per your requirements. If the user is authorized, then just get the details from my database. Yeah, models, where to define the models. In models, either my user models just defines the property of users models. In property, just like defines all columns in the tables like name, email, mobile number, address, roles, username. Yeah, other fields are also defined about the user. Here If the user is authorized, then have to just insert the records of the user in name, mobile number, and role, which one is registered as a user, another user, a guest, a admins, depends on the categorized on the role. And username and passwords are the credentials of the user. Next one is here random OTP generate whenever user is login through my device, to just send OTP on the mobile number. Yeah, but on the also send to the WhatsApp through the OTP verification. Through after send the OTP, just verify the OTP, and either with the OTP verified, then just send the message ki OTP verified successful, and also send user details response. So this is the my login API in Laravel, how to develop a login API. And here to how to define to call this API. This API is calling from API.php files here to define all the routes. Here to define my login API. Here my login API some syntax is something like this: route group prefix auth and function router. And my API is this is the a common routing, say group routings. So this if you require the group routings, then you have to define this type of syntax. Routes post is the methods API methods your API is defines which method post methods, get methods, put methods, and fetch methods. These types of different types of methods. So you have to define any one of the methods to create an API. So I have used post methods for login. So here post is the method, is the API methods, and first parameters. You have the API parameters. That's also called the API name login. And second parameter is defines the controller file name. And you have this have two parameters required. First one is uh, controller file name, and second one is methods name. So then you have to go to just definitions, go to login controller file, and have to find the login function. The login function here to this code. So all the API routes defined in the API.php files. That's API routes call the login controller, or in the login controller to call the that's function name. This is the all about API routes, how to define the API routes, and how to call this API. And this API to calling invoke through the browser. So just I have to share and how to calls, like I have to call the all get all products API. So I have to open my Swagger, okay, and go to that get all product API, and select and just click on execute button. So you have to see get some response through the API. This is my all products API. After getting this API to connect the front end and back end part. So how to connect front end to back ends. So I've jumped to the front end parts. In this section, in this part, I have to talk how to call any API and get the response, and how to implement this API on your front end. in any not only for React and Net.js technology, you have to call same syntax for all technologies. Okay, how to call the API. So API callings have different methods like fetch methods, XJS methods, HTTP methods, curl methods. These all API methods have its own property and on property and on features. So this it depends on your requirement where have to use different API methods. Here I have to use the XJS methods. So how to call the API using XJS methods? So this one lines to call the API through XJS methods. So here XJS methods dot post. In post method, I have to just pass the API URLs. Which one API is calling? Just pass the API URLs. So I have to pass my API URL this. So I have to pass this API URL. You have to call another API. So then I have to pass the another API URL. They have just here to pass the user login API. They have passed the API user login API, and the second parameter is just to pass the inputs this API. If takes any parameters, then have to just send the parameter also. Then this login API requires two inputs, username and passwords. So I have to pass the in these user data variables. I have set two parameters, username and passwords, and this API gives the some response, and this response is set in the res variables, and from this res variables I just get the tokens. Tokens is the unique to verify user is login or not, and get and store in tokens variables. And also I have to define and initialize user variables. In user variables have to store all the details of the user. That's how to get a response res dot data. In line 40, I have to just check if tokens, and if tokens, then to execute another statements in the if statement, in the if part. If not tokens, I have no tokens, yeah, empty tokens, yeah, tokens have blank value, then execute the else part. And else part just have to pass the message, show the message invalid username password, yeah, here have you required another message, then to pass another message also. In if part I have called another API get all stores to get all stores, and same as it is same get all stores, give some response, and the get them response store in the store data. I have a store data. I have to after store data, I have called another function, that's login function. That login function defined in my auth context provider. Auth context provider, in auth context provider, I have just stored in the session storage. User is where is user is login or not. Session is used. Session is used for storing data, but as a global variable. That global variable have to access in anywhere from your project. So from this concept is used, then don't have to require to again and again you have to repeat to call the API. So you have to prevent repeated to call the API. So I have to use local storage, session storage, storage. Yeah, for mobile application you have to use capacitor storage also. After calling the revoke the API and get the response and sends and gets the data and store the data in variable. After this I have to integrate this API. So how to integrate this API on the basis of my API response. So here into here I do have to integrate my API of software stores. So that variable name where to store the all software stores dot. This is the variable name. This is type of array data type dot map. Map function is used for iterating one by one to get all the data from your variables one by one. Dot map function just pass the any one parameters name implies parenthesis. This is the this syntax is called arrow function. If it just here is the I have used the li tag. You have to also use the different designing also. I have to see. I have to share the how to my designs. So just one second. I have to restart my project. To start the React Next.js project, just execute the command npm run dev. So after executing this command, your project is running. Also, you have to see your project is running on this port number 3000. The by default port is provide 3000. So my project is running. Okay, is running. So here is my design key. I have to use the li tag. In li tag, I have to just pass the. I have to use a store name, a store address, and distance. How much distance here to calculate the your near shop store. So this is all about it about front end and back end in this how to uh, uh, integrate front end and back ends both. After complete my front end and back ends, I have to generate how to generate the mobile applications. Here generate APK for Android iOS application. So you have to just execute some commands. Go to cmd command prompt या फिर terminal and execute some commands for capacitor CLI. If you have to capacitor CLI, then you have to install capacitor core and capacitor CLI package. After executing these commands, you have to execute npx cap initiate build for building the mobile applications. Uh, after you have to execute npm run build, and after this npx cap add os, and for Android you have to execute npx cap add Android. After executing this command, so opening the native code in Xcode for iOS and also Android Studio, you can build and run the applications. Run the applications on simulator, yeah, physical device. So this is a and this some I have to see the some parts of some designs of Swagger, how to look the Swagger annotation and some my front end design to screenshots of my React layout applications. That's all about front end and back ends and for mobile application technologies. So we have discussed how so we have to discuss how to build mobile applications with Laravel for the for the backends and React Node.js for the front end and the capacitor for mobile applications and the Swagger for API documentation. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Saurabh. You delivered this topic on mobile application development. You explained us about the mobile application using the Next.js, React, and Capacitor, and the API through the Laravel.
Yes.
So thank you very much again, all, and all speakers. I'll thank you all to make it successful today's session. So thank you again. Have a good weekend.